You, this dude gave himself a press conference. You know you have reached the pinnacle. You know you have all the power, at least in the wrestling world, when you can give yourself a press conference after the show. Or that WWE promotes heavily and allots you this time a press conference after SmackDown, which was nothing more than an interview of The Rock. Media, wink, asking The Rock, and I quote, "What's your favorite cheat meals? What are your favorite foods in New Orleans? How does it feel to be in New Orleans? What is your favorite musical acts?" These were real questions. He gave himself a press conference. Of course, that's not where the focus is. Everybody's focus is on the promo that happened on the show, where if you didn't see the show, The Rock, you may have heard about this by now. But yes, The Rock asked for Cody Rhodes's. Well, he asked for Cody's soul. So yeah, shit got weird pretty quick between Rock and Cody. Cody looking at The Rock like he just asked for one of his pristine 5-piece suits, right? Like you ask for what? Your soul, Cody. It's not a big deal. I asked you to be my brother, right? Let's dap, brother. I asked you to be my champion, and your soul. So nonchalantly. Cody's trying to contemplate this. My soul? Well, it's not as bad as giving him one of my pristine 5-piece suits, but it's still my soul. Like, wouldn't I need that? Or at least it would be nice to have. Otherwise, without the soul, you're kind of walking around with 5 sadnesses in your internal core dome piece, right? You got to have like at least a joy or two in there, or a sadness, a couple of joys, and maybe a couple of angers, right? It's always good to have some angers in there. But if you give your soul to The Rock, I mean, that's 5 sadnesses. You'll be walking around all dopey, right? When they do the opening signatures or the opening montage, every single show of all the wrestlers showing up with their luggage and their coffees, Cody's always smiling at the opening of every SmackDown. Well, if he gives Rock his soul, he'll be all dopey. He'll be all down on his luck, head down. Woe is me. The look on Cody's face was absolutely priceless. That's where everybody's attention is, and I get it. It was weird. The truth of the matter is, BC will take you to school here a little bit. I'll fill you in. We'll do a little bit of preaching, a little bit of educating, and a little bit of talking about this, but it actually did make sense. It's Brian Gerwitz, his personal writer, who was there in attendance backstage, and him and Brian go over all these wild concepts, and it actually did make sense. The Rock talking about bringing up yet again how Cody screwed him out of his big match with Roman. That was the money match. That's the match he wanted. So many fans wanted it. Cody ruined it for him, and he has not let that go. They may have toasted some tequila, partied in the backstage, January 6th, Netflix premiere of Raw. Their mamas are best friends now, or good friends. But not only has he not forgotten it, but he can't shake the fact that Cody took that big main event from him. So it all tied in the end when he says, yes, I just like our moms, yes, I want you to be my brother. I want you to be my champion. I want your soul. Now, of course, that's so weird, right? It's awkward. It's bizarre. It's sounds pretty stupid when you think about it. I get it. I mean, we had fun on the thumbnail with it. You know, when your boss makes shit weird and asks for your soul. But what he's doing, guys, and this is how Brian and this is how his writing is. What he's saying is, I want your soul. Sell your soul to the devil. In this case, the Dwayneville. Sell your soul to the Dwayneville. Dwayne. Okay, let's Let's not do that. Let's move on. Sell your soul to the devil is what he is saying, right? Sell your soul. He wants him to sell his soul. Be my puppet champion. You do what I say when I tell you. I can put you in movies. I can give you a way better life than this, dude. I can give you a lot more money in your bank account. I can put you in much more of a star status situation every single day. But you are going to be my bitch. That's what he's saying, guys. That's what you'll end up finding out. It wasn't a Papa Shango voodoo segment, guys. I mean, I know that's what we're all having fun with, and a lot of people, you guys have already probably voiced out before I even spit out this cold open. You guys are probably already telling me how stupid that segment was and this, that. I get it. It was weird. And The Rock kind of takes what Brian gives him in writing form, and The Rock will just expand that 10 to 15 minutes of just winging it. So you get a little bit of what Brian had for him, and then you just have The Rock doing what he does, which is wing it. So he starts out talking about how WrestleMania will be in New Orleans, which I told you that was going to happen in yesterday's Amped Upload. I told you he was there to conduct some business financially and for the company. But then he goes into calling Cody out. Then he goes into Mama Rhodes and Mama Rock being friends and them becoming brothers and toasting tequila. And then he brings up the Roman situation and his match taken from him last year from the Cody Crybabies, as he calls them. And then he goes into what he wants from Cody. It's not a title that he wants. He wants his soul. He wants Cody to sell his soul to him. Make it up for taking away that big main event match. I totally see where Brian's going with this. And you want to know the sad part, guys, is The Rock is the only polarizing guy we had last night on the entire show. So when The Rock says shut up and let The Rock take you on a ride, it's unfortunate, but we kind of have to, because what are we left with? Hunter Hearst Helmsley? You've seen Hunter's booking for WrestleMania season last year. This year is even worse somehow. So when The Rock says, let The Rock take you on a ride, we have no choice but to jump into that vehicle because the only other Uber that's giving us a ride to Mania has Hunter Hearst Helmsley at the helm. Ain't nobody trying to jump into no. We'll walk. We ain't jumping into that Uber. So when Rock says shut up and take out, we can't even, as weird as it is, he's the only polarizing dude. When the guy's got the stick in his hand, you're captivated. Everybody's hanging on what he is saying. And you just hope that it all comes full circle to a point, to a destination, to a meaningful finish that'll hopefully catapult into a captivating situation. Up front, this did not do that last night. A lot of fans are just more confused. And this is what always happens, right? The Rock goes in left field with a hockey stick, kind of far away from the material. He says a lot of stuff at once. It becomes word salad, and fans are confused. So hopefully BC narrowed it down a little bit for you guys. He's basically still really pissed off about the situation last year. He blames Cody, and he wants him to be his champion. You want to know the sad part? It's actually sad that Hunter can't wrestle anymore because he's got the gimmick in his chest from the heart problem that he had or has. Because you could have done something really cool where Rock and Hunter Hearst Helmsley were in a power for more a kind of a struggle for power. You know, they're each trying to one up. Like Hunter's running it, we all know that, but like the final boss is legit Rock. I mean, Ari would give The Rock way more leeway or power than he would even Hunter Hearst Helmsley. So The Rock truly feels he's more of the boss. And it's almost like he's trying to take Cody. He's trying to take Hunter's champion. He's trying to take over creative. He's trying to take... You could have done something really cool, but with Hunter not being able to wrestle, they would just kind of be like managers or assembling teams, you know what I mean? And I don't want to do that. That's stupid. And that could only work if you extend this to like Survivor Series season, not Mania season, and then you can assemble teams. So that's what I was thinking too. Like, it doesn't lead to anything unless it leads to a matchup between Cody and Rock. The problem is, are too many fans over that already because the story has been so messed with. And that's what leads me to the bigger issue that I have. I'm not going to harp on the sell your soul, or no, not even. I want your soul, which is even weirder. Right, I'm not even harping on that. People liked it. A lot of fans are confused by it, and a hell of a lot of fans think it was stupid. I get it, but I see the point. Brian Gerwitz, I would much rather have writing for WWE. I would have Brian as the head of creative, chief content officer over Hunter Hearst Helmsley. Because I know Brian Gerwitz would give us better television. So I'm not harping on that. What I'm going to harp on, guys, is what happened after the show. A press conference was advertised. You're hoping, the hope in all of this. One more swig of my double shot, triple pump pistachio latte, because this is a very important discussion that needs to be had, because this is a huge problem that could end up absolutely being the detriment to pro wrestling that destroys it once and for all. They promote this press conference. It's just The Rock, guys. When it's all said and done, it was just The Rock that talked. It wasn't even a press conference. It was just The Rock taking like an interview, like People or Variety, maybe Sports Illustrated or just any Joe Schmo, Chris Van Fillet, whatever the dude. He's just doing an interview. Guys, the questions were literally, what's your favorite cheat meals? What's your favorite food in New Orleans? What do you love about New Orleans? How was it like being back in New Orleans? What's your favorite musical acts? What's your favorite artists? Cool theme music, like you changed it up a little bit. Can you give us some insight behind it? Save that for an interview. This is a press conference that you promoted as part of the show. Guys, they were promoting it all throughout the show. So you're thinking he's going to be more in character, hopefully, especially how weird the segment was, right? I want your soul. If you're not a knowledgeable fan, and I don't mean that in a slighted way, you know, younger or just you just don't know the ins and outs of pro wrestling. So you didn't think about it. You're just like, well, that was weird. He wants a soul? Is it like Papa Shango voodoo? Like 11? Stranger Things? Like, what are we doing? But if you don't know what he's talking, I want you to sell your soul is what he is saying. But it ended weird, right? For so many. So like you're hoping that this press conference was going to be an extension. He was going to elaborate. You're going to get the final boss a little bit more. Maybe Cody like comes in and, they have some more interaction, something. Because at that point, a lot of people were watching as fans that don't want to know or don't care about the behind the scenes. They don't care about what you have to say about the event or trying to sell Elimination Chamber. Because that's what The Rock told Cody, right? Give me your answer at the Chamber next Saturday. Nobody cares, right? Fans are now tuning in to extend the storyline because they promoted it so much during the show. And it was such a weird finish to the promo. And now Rock is going to talk at this press conference. This is part of the story. It's like Macho Man and Elizabeth when they got married at SummerSlam. Show goes off the air. You heard there's a big reception going on, and it's being recorded. It's being filmed, right? That's what Gene Okerlund, all of them were talking about. So you're like, well, something's going to happen then. Sure enough, at the wedding reception that was not on the pay-per-view, The Undertaker and Jake Roberts attacked Macho Man during his own wedding reception. Remember, Macho Man and Elizabeth opened up their gift, their wedding present, and there was a snake inside, a cobra. And then Taker and Jake Roberts attack. I'm not saying it's going to be that fun because wrestling is not as fun as it just used to be. I mean, think about that. That was fun back in the day, man. They thought about shit. They set up a whole wedding reception. They put resources and finances and time and energy and care into these things. Today, it's just, there's so much going on. It can't receive the proper care. You have 3 hours every Friday, 2.5 hours every Monday, 1 to 2 PLE pay-per-views every single month. It's too much business. They can't properly attend to anything. They can't give you a proper storyline. They can't give anything the proper time and attention and care, and that's why you just get random shit every single show. And they hope that you either don't ask questions, you forget, or you just accept the BS stew that Hunter is dishing out. But that's what we used to get, like an extension. So you go to this press conference. I cannot believe had I known, I would have never tuned in because it's the opposite of what I was hoping for. Guys, he's completely out of character and he's The first 10 minutes, he's just exposing the entire storyline that we just saw 20 minutes earlier. 20 minutes earlier. We just saw it though. You don't have to, it's like you don't want to watch the magic trick. You're at this, you go to a dinner and a show and it's a magician and he's giving you you just want to watch the show, right? You don't want him to do some magic and then stop the show to explain exactly how it was done, ruin it for you, right? No more mystery. Go on to the next trick, stop afterwards, tell you exactly how it was done. That's a shitty show. No, thank you. Let me have some suspense. Tell us that in a month you can catch my special, a couple of these tricks. We'll show you how they're done. Wink. That's it. You know what I mean? But let me sit on that for 20 minutes after the show. This guy is doing a press conference telling us what went into it. Out of character. He's like, yeah, so what happened is, Hunter presented some ideas. I pretty much turned them down. I showed him some of my stuff and, you just work it out. But what we wanted to do is we wanted a tiered system to the story. So, I come out. This is what he's saying, guys. He's like, so I come out and we just had it planned to where, I was going to talk New Orleans and WrestleMania next year. And then I went into a sing-along, right? Oh, New Orleans. And then what I wanted to do is, we wanted to set up the Cody coming out and really, and I'm like, wow, way to shit on your own work. And this is what killed it on January. Guys, this is what absolutely destroyed it January 6th. Everybody was actually looking forward to the Cody and Rock interaction the way that it ended last year, right? Hand him something, don't break my heart, Cody. And everyone's like, hey, this could be good when Rock comes back. And then all of a sudden, Rock is just shaking everyone's hand, smiling. Him and Cody are all of a sudden best friends. None of it made sense. And everyone was like, all right, don't need to see that anymore. That was weird. And then Rock was completely out of character ever since the whole last month. Just talking about, yeah, he's kind of, him and Cody are cool. So then last night on the show, they rekindle this weirdness and you clearly see that The Rock is not over it. And you start to think maybe the damage wasn't completely done. Maybe they can salvage this. Even with him saying a weird line like, I want your soul. Whether you know what he meant or not, right? Maybe even as stupid as that was, maybe it can still be salvaged. And enough people still want to see Cody Rock, and as long as they sell it properly, they cannot screw it up. And 20 minutes later, he's doing the same thing he did January 6th. The only difference is literally this was 20 minutes after the segment aired live on TV, on cable television, nationally. The Rock is literally just exposing his own storyline 20 minutes after we just saw the segment. I don't understand, guys. I can't comprehend it. All entertainment aside, I understand it's the tube. I understand BC's got the volume turned up to entertain you guys. That's why you come. It's not just to talk wrestling. You're hoping BC's going to entertain you. I get it. But I'm speaking very real. I always do. But this, I cannot be any more why would you do that? Why would you crush your own work? It's not that, it's not a, it's still real to us, damn it, situation, right? We're not trying to believe it's all real. Nobody's angry to the point we're going to the local Starbucks and power bombing baristas because we didn't get our wrestling way or that kayfabe is dead. No, nobody taking it that serious. But it's a serious problem right now with The Rock and Hunter Helmsley. They just want to expose everything. They want to show you how all the ingredients in the recipe. They just want to show you how every magic trick is performed. Hunter's got camera crews the whole weekend of the Royal Rumble. Why? We don't need to see the inner workings of everything that you say on headset and everything, man. Stop trying to just give content to Marks or IWC peeps. Stop. Protect the business a little bit more, man. Save kayfabe a little bit, man. You can't completely kill off kayfabe because your audience, even if subconsciously, needs to suspend the disbelief, or what I call it, suspend belief. We still have to suspend that belief when we are watching the product. We can't automatically think when something is good, oh yeah, but, we just already saw how all that's being planned out. Last year, Hunter and Rock, you get the two together. They just want to expose all of it. You get them together. They did a WrestleMania planning documentary where they showed you exactly how they were planning one of the main events of Mania, that weird tag team match with Seth and Cody versus Roman and Rock and Hunter, and talking about like how plans had to change. And they're just giving you every... why would you do that, man? Are you that... Is it that much of a hard-on to get the appreciation from the IWC? Oh, man, look at what they're doing backstage. Man, they're the Grand Wizards. It's not rocket science. Dude, you're putting together wrestling segments and I can't even say storylines because Hunter is not. It's not rocket science. Why do you always have to have a camera showing what you're doing? I mean, the egos are getting out of control, bro. Hunter and The Rock cannot do anything without having it recorded to show exactly what's being done. They couldn't wait 20 minutes before The Rock had to tell you what went into the promo last night. Dude, we just saw it. Let us digest it. Let it settle in. Why do you got to talk about all of the... They're in such a rush to tell you how fake it all is. They're in such a rush to tell you how scripted, I should say. How planned, how rehearsed. Exactly how it was rehearsed. They're in such a rush to tell you that what you just saw, we're buddies, man. I don't actually want the dude's soul. He doesn't need to sell my soul. We're actually going to have some tequila, right? Isn't that what he said? We were drinking tequila right up before the event. But did you guys enjoy the segment of the show? Yeah. Questions? Yeah. Rock, what's your cheat meal, man? What's your favorite cheat meals? What's your favorite cheat meals? So many fans were tuning in to hope for a continuation to the story, right? Instead of investing in all... Here's a wild concept. BC's going to drop an absolute fact bomb that's going to just reverberate through the world. Instead of investing all of this time to record and film yourself putting on segments and stories and the behind the scenes to show everybody that you guys are such masterminds, instead of doing that, spend all of that time, energy, and focus actually creating fun storylines, actually putting into the product, getting people invested and keep them invested. Here's a crazy concept. What if they did that segment last night and left it? What if The Rock didn't do this promoted press conference to answer stupid questions and expose the storyline yet again? It's like they're going out of their way to get us uninvested. Just when you start to get back into Rock and Cody, he goes live on a WWE promoted interview press conference and he tells you, just kidding, we're good, we're buddies, just a storyline, right? They make themselves above all of it. They put themselves above wrestling like there's some wild masterminds. And he's explaining as if nobody would ever have guessed what went into this storyline. What went into this segment. You know, he's talking. I mean, if this is not a pump up ego session, I don't know what is. I mean, he's just talking like, so what we did is, you know, we wanted a 3-tier, so I come out, right? And what I did was I announced the WrestleMania thing. And then you saw what I did, right? What I did was I went into like a sing-along with The Rock. So what we did is we put in all the elements. Guys, watch the press. I'm not joking. I'm not like embellishing. I'm not just trying to be funny. Like if you watch this press conference, that's what he was doing. Explaining to everybody like they're absolute children or complete artards because you would not fathom that somebody is trying to explain the silliness we just saw 20 minutes earlier. But they're in such a rush to expose everything. Hunter Helmsley and The Rock, they're in such a rush to show you how all of the ingredients, how all the meals are made, the ingredients in the recipe, how the magic tricks are done. No suspense, no wonder, no disbelief. You don't have to suspend anything. It's been 20 minutes. We'll tell you exactly how we did this. Thank you. We never would have guessed that a couple people got together and said, let's do this tonight. Let's make a weird segment. That was weirder than the line, I want your soul. That was much weirder to me that they put on this this press conference, and it was nothing more than an ego boost for The Rock. And trust me, The Rock is one of the most polarizing dudes in this company's history of all time. There won't be many that can equal The Rock, if any. That's why it's still to this day, man. The Rock's in that ring. You're captivated. I know BC is. And if you look on that roster and you look at what Hunter is giving us, or lack thereof, yeah, it is welcoming to see The Rock, because we know we're going to get something. You just hope that he doesn't just piss on it immediately after, because that's what he's been doing. Last night, that's exactly what he did. So my whole point in all this is, don't be shocked when a lot of fans are going, I no longer need to see Cody and Rock. A lot of people still might want to see it. That's fine. But don't be shocked, because they're giving you a million reasons and a million more as to why you should not be excited about it. If this is what pro wrestling is today, with Hunter and Rock and whoever else is in charge that was a former talent and they get some pull, if this is what it's becoming, guys, where we're just like exposing everything for the IWC, if they're just going to mark out for themselves and show how the pudding is made, you know, like, wow, look at Hunter with the headset on and he's calling everything, and this is like some insider stuff, man. This is wild. Hunter is like the wizard in Wizard of Oz behind the curtain. Stop pulling back the curtain. Keep the curtain. The curtain is there for a reason. Shut it sometimes, brah, and keep it shut. There's a new show, LFG, LFG, right? Let's fucking go. Yeah, LFG, I think it's called, on A&E. Guys, I will never watch that. It is completely just a show about exploiting pro wrestling, giving you every set. Guys, The Undertaker is in there showing them how to do a punch and how to react. He's like, once you hear the, oh, then you punch back, and then you'll hear the other guy's side go, oh. They're just giving away everything. Like, how can we watch the product after that? This isn't like watching a movie and then watching the bloopers after, or watching the making of, right? Like, you can watch Squid Games on Netflix and then afterwards they're like, this is how it was made. Guys, pro wrestling is a different entity. You have to digest the storylines. You have to suspend that disbelief or belief when it's on. It's not like a movie that just ends when the movie is over. The pro wrestling story keeps going week after week, month after month, year after year sometimes. So you can't just expose every single segment, every show, or just how these meals are made. This LFG show is one big exploitation of professional wrestling. That's all it is. And it's still real to us, damn it. It's just common sense. Why would you expose the business like that? Under Hunter Helmsley, he is driven to exploit the business as much as possible and just give everything to the IWC. And The Rock is same way, man. They've already been at the top of the business in the Attitude Era. So they're just like, fuck it. Now we're going to show everybody like the behind the scenes of it. Well, it's a detriment to the younger fans coming up. Rock's in there last night talking about Ari Emanuel, Nick Khan. The audience doesn't know. A lot of those kids that brought out the families, what are you talking about? Why do they care about Ari and Nick Khan? They want the storyline. LFG, Hunter's non-stop documentaries last year at Mania showing you how the Mania pudding was made, and then this year Royal Rumble, a whole weekend he's got a camera crew on him. The Rock is constantly recording every single thing that is done so he can show you how it was done. That's what I'm more pissed about, man. That's what's frustrating. Stop exploiting the fucking business, man. Keep a shred of kayfabe alive. And that's your cold open teaser. I might have had a little bit to say about that, huh? I couldn't believe it, guys. I couldn't believe this press conference. It had nothing to do with the story or nothing. It just exploited it. And then he talked about his cheat meals, his favorite musical acts, and who knows what else, man. The dumbest questions you could have ever heard. I wouldn't have even watched a YouTube video on it. If I saw, hey, Rock answers questions, I would never even click. Let alone a promoted press conference that was just The Rock. It was just an ego boost for Rocky Maivia. I couldn't believe it, man. But I probably, by now, we probably should. I just, this, had I known that was the press conference and they were just going to exploit shit and tell you, I would have never tuned in, guys. Never. I'm done with it. I'm literally done with pulling back the curtain and seeing all the behind the scenes. I don't want to see it. I don't care if it's the Miz and Mrs. show or Bianca Belair and Montez Ford or the Total Divas, Total Bellas, LFG, Tough Enough. Remember Tough Enough? That didn't go this far, but still, it was pretty rough. How much they go inside the biz, but it's just enough. It's enough, man. Everywhere they're more focused on exposing all the behind the scenes than they are putting the time, energy, and focus into creative storylines on air. That's the problem. Everything these days is just for the IWC to rip back the curtain. In the ring, that's the focus for the kids is on the Yeats and the Seth Rollins Disney sing-along, right? It's the participation era there. They're hoping that's where their reaction is going to come from. We'll give you sing-alongs. We'll let you yeet. It's frustrating, man. I just wish they would stop exploiting the business, man. There's no need for it. Stop. The IWC is going to be just fine. They'll have plenty of content. They'll have to actually start digesting storylines because all the time that you put into the backstage crap, you can now put into creativity. And that's what we'll want to learn more about. That's what we'll want to talk about. That's the cold open teaser. I'll stop. SmackDown 2/21/25. Weeks away now, man, from WrestleMania. Less than 2 months. One more SmackDown to go, one more Raw to go before Elimination Chamber. Did they do a lot to bolster up WrestleMania? Did they make it feel like WrestleMania season? Did they get you excited for Elimination Chamber? Let's find out now. Jim Uso started this show. One more swig. Oh, you're not going to believe this. It was Jim Uso versus Drew McIntyre. You're not going to believe the finish to this. Or you probably should believe it. It's Hunter Helmsley, after all. Jim Uso defeats Drew McIntyre via fruit roll-up pinfall. Fruit roll-up pinfall. Drew McIntyre, guys, was held down by Jimmy Uso. Just had his legs kind of bent back, and Drew's like, I can't get up, like the kid from the Christmas Story. The little brother in his Christmas suit who can't get up, right? It's Drew, though. Jim Uso, by the way, is now delivering spears. Did you guys see it? If you didn't, this is a true story. He's not only doing the no yeet, so he's doing his brother's yeet, just with the no, but he's trying to get that going. It's bad enough that their moves are basically the same as it is. The super kick, the top rope splash, all that stuff. Now, Jim Uso is delivering a spear. And yes, if you're wondering, it's just as awful looking as his brother Jay's spear. It's just as bad, maybe worse somehow. I don't know if that's possible, but maybe. But that's a true story, man. He's delivering awful looking spears now. All of a sudden, he's also a Superman, and he's spearing people like he's Goldberg or Lesnar or even Roman Reigns. And then he literally just holds Drew down for the 3 count. Just holds him down. I can see if Jim Uso is holding down like Tozawa or Adam Cole, right? Adam Cole's 170 some odd pounds soaking wet-ish. Okay, he's holding down Adam Cole, baby. This is Braun Strowman. I've seen Braun Strowman held down by people like a quarter of his size too, by the way. But this is Drew McIntyre. This isn't Tozawa. It's not Adam Cole. He's being held down by Jim Uso, who just speared him as if he's Superman. Now he's got superhuman strength, and he's holding down big, bolsterous Drew McIntyre for a 1, for a 2, and for a 3. That's not believable, though. It's not believable, guys. And then post-match, Drew beats up Jim Uso because that's how Helmsley books, right? The loser beats up the winner after they lose, so it seems like nobody really lost. 50-50 booking. I hope you kept track. You see what I'm saying? It's 50-50 booking that way, and when you do that, nobody truly wins because you 50-50'd them. And that's why nobody, unless you're doing a review like this, is talking Jim Uso, Drew McIntyre last night. Nothing of substance. And Drew just eats another L. You go into a weird tag match here, Miz and Melo. What is Miz trying to call this? Melo don't Miz. And they take on LA Knight and R-Truth. Miz pins Truth. And this is the exact type of shit that has fans furious. What does any of this have to do with WrestleMania? We're watching this weird tag match to try to get this little tag team name over, right? Trying to make people laugh. Melo don't Miz. And they beat LA Knight and R-Truth. And you say, well, Shinsuke was involved. Don't forget, he took out LA Knight. So that's what it has to do with Mania, BC. LA Knight and Shinsuke. They faced each other. Shinsuke came back, won the championship. The U.S. Championship. Every single week, he just hangs around backstage awkwardly in the weeds, way off in the distance, staring at people, wanting their souls maybe, who knows. And that's his booking ever since he won the title. He just hangs around, and then like last night, maybe he'll come to the ring and like I don't know, tag somebody, you're it, and run out like he did LA Knight last night. I don't know. The booking of Shinsuke has been so odd, but that's what happens when Hunter doesn't have a plan. Helmsley had no plan. He's like, come back, win the title. I don't even care about LA Knight anyway, he's thinking. And Shinsuke will come up with something, just like he books Braun Breaker with the IC title on Monday nights. Just walk around backstage, walk up to people, stare at them, grunt, look at your title a couple of times, grunt. That's Braun Breaker's booking for 2 months. Shinsuke's the same way on Friday nights. He just walks around, looks at people, and that's it. That's Hunter's plan, right? Helmsley said, just win the title. I don't care about LA Knight anyway. I'll think of something maybe in the future for you. And he never did. And here we are a couple months later, and he's just going back to the same spot we were in 2 months ago. He just threw Shinsuke and LA Knight back together. And fans that praise everything Hunter does is going to go, it's long-term storytelling, basically. It's long-term booking. You don't even know what that means. You're using cute little catchphrases. There's nothing long-term about it. It's no plan booking. And then when you absolutely are forced to come up with something because you're reminded that's your champion, you're like, Shinsuke. Because it's the easiest thing. That was the last person you even thought about, right? That was relevant for somebody like Knight or vice versa. So you just throw them back together. We see it time and time again. So if that's really what's pumping you up for WrestleMania now, right? We might get LA Knight versus Shinsuke. They could do this next week at Chamber. They could do it on SmackDown next week because that's usually what Hunter does anyway. You think it's going to a pay-per-view. But if that's what you got to be excited about after all of this, good for you. I saw this random filler tag match. A random-ass tag match to fill time. That's what I saw. And that's exactly what it did, because that concluded hour number 1. The whole first hour was Jim Uso having a match with Drew and holding him down for the pin. And then we saw this weird Miz and Melo versus LA Knight R-Truth tag match. That was your first hour of WWE SmackDown. Could Tiffy time save us? Tiffany Stratton would start hour number 2. You're not going to believe what they had Charlie Flair doing last night. So hour number 2, Tiffy time. Stratton cuts a promo on Charles Flair. Nia Jax and Candy LeRae then come out. They trade off on the mic for about a minute, and this leads to Tiffany versus Candy one-on-one. Stratton would pin LeRae via prettiest moonsault ever. Post-match, LeRae and Jax attack Stratton. Oh, no. Attack... Yes, Stratton. I'm getting Stratus and Stratton mixed up because Trish Stratus would actually come out to make the save. Because whether you guys know it or not, BC's going to drop this tidbit on you. There's a tag match planned for the Chamber, guys. Stratton and Stratus versus Candy and Nia. And this just stems because Stratus helped a week or two ago, whatever it was. Stratus helped out. Stratton helped out. Stratus helped out. This is going to confuse. I'm just calling them Tiffany and Trish. No, that's still tease. Oh, this is going to confuse me. So Trish helped out Tiffany. And so because of that, they made this tag match for the Chamber because they're in Canada and they wanted to give Trish a match. You couldn't have gotten to this a better way. So post-match, after Stratton pins Candy, Nia and Candy attack Stratton. Trish Stratus comes out for the save. But she's probably wishing that she stayed in Canada because she didn't save anybody. In fact, Nia takes them both out, stacks Stratus on top of Stratton. I hope you guys are keeping track. Stratus on top of Stratton in the corner. And then Nia delivers a double banzai. Sits on both of them. So yeah, Stratus was probably wishing she just stayed in Canada. Double banzai. Now here's the booking for Charlie Flair. Charlie Flair was on commentary for this match. And you would not have noticed because she literally added nothing. That's not just being overly harsh or negative. You can go back and watch the match yourself. Listen, she added nothing. She maybe said a sentence or two. It was that bad. You would not have noticed. After Jax sat on Tiffany and Trish, Charles gets in the ring, points at the Mania sign to literally no reaction, zero. At that point, you almost do feel bad for not just Charlotte, but for Ashley Flair, that hunter, that WWE booked her like that and thought that was going to get a reaction. They didn't even care to boo. Guys, that's the worst. When you don't even get booed, they're telling you this ain't it. And that's a crowd that was pretty hot. These crowds that are showing up, a lot of kids, a lot of dragging their parents. These are people that are paying a lot of money. They just want to participate. They want to yeet. They want to sing along. They want to yell, "This is awesome," after 2 minutes of every match. And they gave zero reaction to Charlie pointing at that WrestleMania sign, standing over Tiffany Stratton. That's bad. You guys know that. And that's who's most likely taking the championship yet again for her 85th title reign at Mania 41. We were then supposed to get a Naomi versus Liv Morgan matchup one-on-one, but Morgan and Raquel would attack Naomi and Belair pre-match. Thus, the matchup was nullified. It was a no contest. I don't even think it got started, actually, so it was just nullified. If it seemed odd, it was, but we would find out why. The Rock, Brian Gerwitz, his personal writer, had the format for him, but The Rock was going to do what he does and take as much time as he wants and ad-lib and add things and just kind of wing it out there. So what they did is they gave him, he was most likely, they were going to give him the start of hour number 3, but Rock's probably like, no, I want more time. I want to do what I want to do. So guys, they gave him like 10 to 15 minutes at the end of hour 2 and then the first 10 to 15 of hour 3. So it's not hard to see what happened here. The match, the time that the women were supposed to get, Naomi versus Morgan, that was actually given to The Rock. That was given to Dwayne Johnson. The problem with that is not just the fact that the women are frustrated right now. I put out an upload, guys. Sean Ross, Fightful, that they already confirmed that story. People have actually spoke to them. Fightful has given quotes from ladies in the locker room. They're frustrated, not just with the WrestleMania booking, but they don't know if they're heels or faces anymore. They're questioning their booking, and I don't blame them at all. But not just the fact that they're frustrated, but the fact that this is supposed to be a big storyline right now. Who attacked Jade Cargill, and Naomi and Bianca think it's Raquel and Liv. So you have to have something big planned. And because they had to cut their time, all they did was a pre-match attack. The match is called off. That's rough, man. And that's why you got to be careful. When The Rock comes back, you have to ask, is it worth it? The sad part is The Rock is the most polarizing dude in the company. Still. They haven't made anybody else polarizing. It's not LA Knight. Sadly, Hunter has not given him any piece of the rocket. Cody Rhodes does his best. He's got a good fan base. A lot of people like Cody. Cody does his thing good, by the way. But larger than life, like when it's all said and done and you're thinking Hulk Hogan, Steve Austin, is Cody Rhodes in that category? Would Cody Rhodes be a part of your Mount Rushmore? Would he be up there with The Undertaker? These are just honest questions, right? And a lot of people would actually answer no. They like Cody. He's good. Okay, but I wouldn't put him on that. Okay, well, that's the problem. So when The Rock shows up, it's no doubt that, or it shouldn't be a shock that The Rock is still that guy. So that's the double-edged sword. It's The Rock. Yeah, give him that time. But on the other hand, you're never truly even going to have a chance to build a polarizing star or to make the women happy or any division if they're having their time cut nonstop. I hope that makes sense. You do feel bad for the ladies. In this case, you feel bad for Naomi, Liv Morgan, Raquel, and Bianca Belair. Their segment totally got... all that time was given to The Rock. So that's exactly what happens. We end hour number 2. We go deep into hour number 3 with The Rock. Dwayne Johnson returning to WWE and SmackDown. So how did it go? What did The Rock have to say? Let's talk about it. So The Rock ends hour 2, begins hour 3, announces WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans. First of all, he comes out with a little twist to his music, his theme. Who'd he say it was? Lil Wayne, possibly? But there was this, I couldn't even hear, it was all kind of muffled, man, so I don't know how it sounded in the arena. And then it went back to the Final Boss theme, I believe. So, and then he announces WrestleMania 42 in New Orleans, which we joked about in yesterday's upload. I'm like, he's probably going to announce gate numbers, merchandise sales, how business is booming financially for WWE. He'll announce Mania 42 in New Orleans. Sure enough, he actually did. So it was funny for a lot of us. He announces 42 will be in New Orleans. And then he calls Cody Rhodes to the ring. And then 20 minutes of wild sauce all over the place. And again, I think Brian Gerwitz had the bullet points there. Brian Gerwitz had the format. And then The Rock just ad-libs. And I'm cool with it. The Rock is so good on the mic. Story time with The Rock is a lot more fun than listening to most of that roster try to cut a promo. That's the sad truth. So Rock, do your thing. 20 minutes of wild sauce. You're just hoping that it culminates with something special at the very end, right? Something meaningful, something we can get behind, something impactful, something that we can invest to or into. So after 20 minutes of going on and on, he says he wants Cody to be his brother, right? Their moms are friends. Let's be, dap it up. We'll drink the tequila. I want you to be my brother. He says, I want you to be my champion, Cody. Cody says, well, I'm their champion, Rock. Rock's like, no, you don't understand. I can put you to the new level. I can catapult you to superstardom you never even thought imaginable. Just be my champion. He wants him to be his brother. He wants him to be his champion. And then he tells Cody, I want this. And he goes, you want my title, huh, Rock? That's what all this is about. He goes, I don't want your title. I want your soul. And everybody in the crowd is probably like everyone at home. What the fuck? What the? Are they going with a Papa Shango character here? Some 11? I want your soul. And Cody's confused. The look on Cody's face is like Rock just asked him for his 5-piece suits. One of his nice, pristine 5-piece suits. He just said, I want your soul. Now, again, storyline-wise, it does make sense. If you understand Brian's writing, he's saying, I want you to sell your soul to the devil. In this case, sell your soul to the Dwayne. For screwing up, because he brought it up again, guys. He said, you fucked my matchup with Roman up. He actually dropped the F-bomb, guys. They beeped out most of this 20 minutes, by the way. Plus 20 minutes. 20 plus minutes. They beeped so much out of it because Rock was just swearing left and right. He gives no fucks. So he was just dropping one after the other. But he brought it up, dropped an F-bomb. He's pissed off. So as a little bit of payback, he wants Cody to sell his soul to him. Be the champion, but you're going to be my champion. Basically, his puppet. Do as I say. Rock thinks he is so big that he can just have Cody to be basically his servant. It's a pretty decent storyline, actually. When you get past the weird finish to that, I want your soul, And it just sounds funny and it's weird and a lot of people don't understand it. But when you do get to the nuts and bolts of it, when you really think about it, it does make sense, right? I mean, Rock's still pissed off. He thinks he's so much bigger and better than Cody and larger than life. And he is in many cases. So he wants Cody to bow down and just be his puppet, be his servant. Sell your soul to The Rock, Dwayne Johnson. I don't mind that at all, actually. Again, I probably would have done this a little differently, man, because it just became a funny thing, right? Or just a straight up weird thing, and people just started bashing it left and right. The big issue that I had was the conference. I don't want to, and I already spent just a big amount of time in the cold open teaser on the conference. I don't want to go over it again. Right after they were promoting this conference, right after the show, The Rock is on there and he's out of character yet again. And he's just exposing the behind the scenes of him and Cody. Then we don't need to see this anymore. We don't need to see it if you're constantly just going to go, just kidding. Now this is how we're doing and this is how we're friends. And we were just drinking tequila right after that segment. We don't need to hear it, man. It's not just like a movie where we could just watch the behind the scenes. We have to see the story keep going every show, every week. So you can't just expose it like you would a movie. I hope that makes sense. Wrestling will never survive like that, man. You'll cater to the IWC that wants the curtain nonstop pulled back. But I mean, for those that don't care about behind the scenes, man, and this is coming from BC, I love talking about the news for you guys and all the scoops and the storylines. But I do not want to see how everything is being created. That's what I don't want. I will never watch LFG. I will never watch one of those stupid shows on E! Network. You know, the Bellas, Divas, Ms. and Mrs. Ford, and Bianca and Montez. Much love to them, much respect. But no, I don't want. I won't watch another Tough Enough. I'm done. I won't watch cameras follow around Hunter at WrestleMania weekend. I don't want to know how the matches or the segments were made. Rock, thank you, but no thank you. I'm done. I'm done watching all of the ingredients in the recipe. I'm done. I just want to watch the product and I want it to be good. They're too busy trying to expose it and make themselves feel better. Look at our masterminds at work. No, you're not. That's the problem I had, the press conference afterwards. Guys, I know that's a hot take. That's probably not how a lot of you guys probably did not like it at all. It was weird. It was stupid, had no prevalence. I hear you. I don't mind it. I would have done it a little differently. I see where Brian was going with it. I would still take Brian over Hunter Helmsley any day. But yeah, this was, it was weird, man. And he says he'll see Cody in Toronto for his answer. Will you sell your soul to The Rock? Elimination Chamber. So it does add something, man. The Chamber wasn't jumping off the page to BC. Knowing The Rock will be there, even after all the BS, it's still The Rock. Can they salvage this next Saturday night? And if they do, somehow for a third time, get this back on track, Cody and Rock, will he not expose it immediately after at the Elimination Chamber press conference? And on top of that, will you even get a match? Did you guys hear what Rock said last night, too, in the press conference? He said, you know, a lot of times everything that you see, it culminates in a matchup. The beautiful thing with this is it doesn't need to do that. That tells you that The Rock has no plans to wrestle. He may not. But for everybody thinking they're going to have a Mania match, not so fast. Rock is telling you last night, no, it doesn't need to. I can just show up and we can just deliver weird shit and I'll tell you guys to shut up and enjoy the ride. Never truly knowing what the destination even is. Just be on the ride, be on the journey. Because they don't even know where this is all wrapping up to. Don't be surprised if you don't get it at Mania. And if you did, who's getting bumped? Why would Rock go for a championship? You're bumping Cena, you're bumping Punk, you're just booting everybody to watch The Rock go for the title? That's even more odd than Roman and Rock last year, which everybody cried about because Cody needs to finish his damn story. I don't know. I've said way too much in the cold open. That's my true feelings on this here. It was all so odd. It got even more strange in the press conference. And if they just stayed in character a little longer, a little bit more, just stay in character a little bit, man. Sell your own story. Like, why would you shit on your own work? That's literally like being a construction worker and you spend an entire summer with a bunch of other individuals and you build this nice building and you stand back and you're like, we built that. And then you immediately start taking the bulldozers to it, sledgehammers. You just destroy the building you just made. Why would you do that? You built it, and now all the work that went into that, all of the yapping, all of the story, right? Sell your soul to me. And then immediately you're like, just kidding. This is what we did, and this is why we did it. And like, why would you shit on your own work? Because that's what they're doing right now. And it's a detriment to pro wrestling. And if you're wondering why ratings are in the toilet, well, there you go. It's in the toilet with kayfabe. DIY versus Pretty Lively. This was a no contest as the Street Profits and MCMG interfere. Profits clear all teams. What did I tell you guys? I told you guys this is what you're going to get at WrestleMania. Probably another multi-person tag match. A bunch of multi-person schmazes. But for the tag teams especially, you're going to get like 4 teams going for the titles. They have no storyline. There's no champions versus number 1 contenders. There's no fun, captivating storyline. You're just getting 4 teams every single Friday, mixing it up with one another. How's that fun? Pretty Lively, Motor City, Street Profits, and DIY every single week. Just involved in a cluster. And it'll culminate with all 4 teams going for the title. We do that every year, multiple times a year. Stop. Get creative, dude. This was stupid. I love the Profits. I love the meaner demeanor. There's a fierceness, there's an amplification, but don't be taking out the heels DIY as well. Stop being tweeners. Go for those faces. Collect real, genuine boos. Make the kids cry. Make the parents go, damn, they're vicious. Come on, where's that streak? If you beat up the heels too, you're no better than just tweeners. And the main event was Priest and Strowman defeating bootleg Bloodline member Solo Sikoa and Jacob Fatu. Think about that. Fatu with another loss. Solo took the actual L. They had Fatu, I believe, spear or take out Solo. And this allowed Priest to deliver South of Heaven and pin Solo Sikoa 1, 2, 3. So Solo and Jacob Fatu take the L here. Again, Fatu inadvertently strikes Solo. So the reverse of what happened last week when Solo took out Fatu. So I guess this leads to Fatu Solo, but then Fatu's a face because nobody's ready to cheer Solo. He doesn't have that character. There's not that vibe to cheer Solo. So it would have to be Fatu. Fatu should be a diabolical heel right now. A big feud with him versus face Roman Reigns in the future. Fatu and Cody never really got jump-started. Why are you just putting Fatu in a role where he's positioned to be a face? Just seems odd to me. Not in favor of it at all. And that's how the show went off the air. This weird tag match with Fatu and Solo. Dissension within the ranks of the bootleg Bloodline. Oh no, the bootleg Bloodline might split up. All right, well then we stop calling it the bootleg Bloodline. I think that's what needs to happen anyway. At this point, the Bloodline is about as relevant as that weird group that's attacking everyone backstage in NXT. Are they better than Retribution at this point? That's your SmackDown 221-25 review. I'm BC, your host. You, my unit. I appreciate you guys big time. Until next time, there will be that next time. 44 Dive. That's a wrap. BC and the unit saying check you. Salute!